break down, Lord, why in the midst of despair, Moses is crying why. There are some folk that say that you ought not question God, but the Bible shows us Moses is questioning God, and Moses is asking God why.
All right.
And during your Egypt experience, you ought to know that there are going to be times when you're going to wonder why. Why?
Great.
The more right I do to them, the more wrong they do to me.
Great.
Why do they have an ought against me and they won't tell me what the ought is? Why am I suffering the way I'm suffering? Why am I going through what I'm going through? Why at my best I'm trying to make things work out for me and my family? It seems as if I'm taking 5 steps forward but 9 steps backward. Lord, why? What else can I do? What else can I say? Where else can I go? And sometimes in the midst of your Egypt experience, you're going to come to a point when you don't understand why or how God is working things out, and the question is going to come about why.
All right.
When I feel burdened, when my heart begins to become heavy.
All right.
Why is it I'm having to deal with this particular course that I'm having to deal with in life? At some point, all of God's children, their lives, and they didn't understand why what was happening was happening.
Right.
They asked God why. In Job chapter 3, beginning at verse number 11, the Bible shows us even when Job asked God why. Job chapter 3 and beginning at verse number 11. Let me just walk you through the word of God for a moment and show you the many times that children of God were dealing with something that they didn't understand, and they asked God why. Job chapter 3 and verse number 11. Why died I not from the womb? Why did I not give up the ghost when I came out of the belly? Job suffering everything that he's suffering. Job dealing with everything that he's dealing with. Job not having a word from the Lord as to exactly what's taking place and why it's taking place, is asking God the question, if this is the sum total of my life, if this is the way my life was going to turn out, then Lord, why didn't you just kill me when I was in the womb?
All right.
Amen up in here.
Right.
This man is dealing with some difficulty of life. And because of everything that he's lost, because of everything that the enemy is doing to him, that he's not aware of what's going on, Job is saying, if this was the way my life was going to go, then Lord, why didn't I just die the moment I was born? Job asked God why.
All right.
The psalmist in Psalms 10 and beginning at verse number 1, ask God why. Psalms 10 verse number 1, why standest thou afar off, O Lord, and hidest thyself in times of trouble? You ever felt like that? Like the Lord was far away from your cry? We know, because we know better, that we serve an all-seeing God.
All right.
We know that our God is omnipresent. He's everywhere at the same time. But there are times in the midst of your despair that it seems like God is far from you and from your cry. He says, and Lord, why do you hide yourself in times of trouble? Sometimes life looks like that. While the good times are happening, while things are favorable, we credit God with being near. But when things start to get bad, that's when we start accrediting God with being far off. Let me tell you, according to what we understand from the Word of God, that God is the same place that He's always been. God doesn't move when trouble happens. He's still there. The problem is we don't understand how God operates in the midst of trouble, and therefore we come to the conclusion that God must have left me alone. In Psalms 22 and verse number 1, that's what the psalmist felt when he said, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? Why art thou so far from helping me and from the words of my roaring? He felt like he was all by himself, and therefore he asked the Lord, my God, it's the same thing that Jesus said on the cross, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? In the midst of feeling all alone, you will get to a point where you ask God, why? In Psalms 42 and verse number 9, I will say unto my God, I will say unto God, my rock, why hast thou forgotten me? Why go I mourning because of the oppression of the enemy? It's something about the oppression of the enemy that just gets us all beside ourselves. It's something about the affliction of people who don't care anything about God that has the potential to make us question God. The psalmist is saying, why shall I mourn or cry over something that the enemy is doing? I'm not weeping over something that one of your children is doing. This is somebody who doesn't know you. This is somebody who doesn't want to know you. This is somebody who's against me, and because I serve you, we expect for God to deliver us from the hand of the enemy. He will, but not when we want him to. The trouble, the trial, the weight of the word has the ability to cause us to ask God why. Jeremiah chapter 15 and verse number 18. Jeremiah chapter 15 and verse number 18. Jeremiah says, why is my pain perpetual and my wound incurable, which refuses to be healed? Lord, why can't I get rid of it? What's wrong with this situation that it remains as an ever-present thorn in my flesh? What is it about this circumstance that I can't quite get beyond? I can't get over. I can't get back. Why is my pain perpetual, continuing, day after day and night after night? Why is my wound not healed? I know you as the great healer. So why am I still dealing with the same old wound? Why wilt thou altogether be unto me as a lion and as waters that fail? You know, Jeremiah had to show enough be going through some stuff to ask God, why are your promises failing me? And if we're honest with ourselves, there have been times during our Egypt experience where we contemplated the possibility of the failure of God's commands in our lives. Habakkuk chapter 1 and beginning at verse number 3. Habakkuk chapter 1 and beginning at verse number 3 shows us once more and again a realistic portrayal and understanding of the fact that there have been people of God who have asked God why. And if you've never been in a position where you've had to ask God why, just keep on living. Things, circumstances, situations will go on in your life. Many things we expect to happen. We don't really have a problem navigating ourselves through the things we expect to happen. But it's those things that we don't expect to happen. Come on now. It's those things that take us by surprise. Those things that catch us unaware. Those things that get us at a moment of vulnerability. Those things that happen that we were not looking for to happen are the things which provoke us to doubt in our minds as to whether or not God is going to deliver this time. All right, Habakkuk chapter 1 and verse number 3, back it says, why dost thou show me iniquity and cause me to behold grievance? For spoiling and